had to ask, what spoon do I pick? And so in my drawer, I had the 3 choices. I have this great big serving one.
That would make it really salty.
Yeah, really salty, too much salt, so we're gonna put that aside. Okay, and then I had to decide which one was the teaspoon and which one was the tablespoon, but really I think this guy is a soup spoon.
Yeah, that looks like it's a spoon.
I don't
But is there a way we could check?
There is a way we could check. Okay, and so I'm gonna let our science teacher do that a little bit. And so you're gonna check with salt. I did bring some table salt. And one way to check is you can weigh the salt and see if you have your tablespoon, your teaspoon.
So how much does a teaspoon of salt weigh?
Okay, so instead of using just the spoon from the drawer, we have high-tech measuring spoons. Got it?
I got it.
Okay, so
this is a cool set.
Yeah, this set has a bunch of different measurements. It has.
Oh, it's metric too. Oh. That's great.
So 1/8 of a teaspoon, 1/4 of a teaspoon, oh my goodness, half of a teaspoon. Here is my actual teaspoon one. And then you have the big one over there.
And this one says 1/4 of a teaspoon is 1 milliliter.
Oh,
so that's a cool conversion.
That is pretty cool.
That must mean that a teaspoon, what? No, this is confusing. So this is 1 teaspoon is 5 milliliters.
I think they had to round.
I think it must be. They must have. I think
they had to round
they
a
rounded
little
down.
bit.
So it's 1.25 is a fourth. Okay. So now if I want to compare these two.
Right. So I'd like you to weigh how much a teaspoon of salt weighs.
Okay, so I'll make a level teaspoon, right?
Yep. You know, I do have a leveler. Cool. You could use just a knife, like a butter knife. Some sets come with the.
Yeah. Now, how much would you estimate? So this is another cool Pampered Chef. Do I push it
so
there?
power.
That's on. Okay.
Here, we can turn this around so you can see it a little bit better.
And then it's got a cool thing here called the tear button, I think, or Terry button. And that's for if you have something on like this. Right now we're it says 0, but it's also including that.
Right. So if we took the bowl off, then it would be negative something. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So so that's where if you have a Terry button and you put something on and you want to go back to 0, you push that. Okay. So how much do you estimate?
And are we in grams or ounces?
It says in ounces.
Okay. I would say it's less than an ounce.
Oh yeah, I would bet 1/10 of an ounce is my guess. Oh, 14.
14 ounces?
0.14 ounces.
0.14 ounces, okay.
0.14 ounces, yes.
So you can...
so we'll put that in there?
Yep.
Okay. And now to compare
I should write that down.
Okay, yeah, 0.14 ounces.
So go ahead and weigh a tablespoon.
Okay.
Oh, wait. What's that say? That doesn't say a tablespoon, does it?
This one says it's half tablespoon.
I think my tablespoon is missing in my drawer at home.
Well, we can do it twice then.
But I do have another one.
Okay.
This one is an adjustable measuring spoon. And so if you're at the bottom, it measures a tablespoon.
So we had, what was it, 1.4?
0.14.
0.1.
Yep, and I'm going to grab a pen. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm going to do it even. So I'm trying to get a level teaspoon. Sometimes when you're cooking, it'll say a level teaspoon as opposed to a heaping teaspoon, isn't it? If it's too much.
So 1 teaspoon is 0.14 ounces.
0.14 ounces, okay. So let's try this one. And it is 0.25.
0.25. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to measure that is because if I just went to the drawer and I took the teaspoon, what I thought would be a teaspoon and what I thought would be a tablespoon.
Right. So we try this?
Yep. You put the used salt in there. So you got the teaspoon, right?
Okay, yeah, I think this is the 5 o'clock teaspoon.
That's the 5 o'clock teaspoon? How many ounces do we got?
0.25.
Uh-oh. That was the same amount
as a tablespoon
of salt as the tablespoon.
So almost twice as much. so that's why.
Try this one. Okay. I would have picked that one as the tablespoon.
Okay, so empty that one
Boy,
out.
if they say take a tablespoon of medicine, you better grab your teaspoon.
Yeah, be careful what you're. That's why they sell those cool little, or they give them away for kids stuff, especially at pharmacies, the little syringes, so that you take the proper amount.
So the smaller spoon I had was 0.25 ounces.
Right.
Okay.
And the larger one is 0.35.
Wow, 0.35 ounces. So we're measuring the weight, but the volume was the same amount of volume, right?
Well, no, that would show that the volume goes up considerably. This one holds, well, comparatively to this one holds 0.1 ounce more than an official tablespoon. Right?
I was trying to connect volume and weight.
Okay, volume and weight, right.
Because sometimes something holds a certain amount.
Right.
But the weight of like salt compared to the weight of water may differ.
It's gonna be, oh yes, definitely so. Right,
okay.
right.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. So, you know what? Let's say I couldn't find my measuring spoons.
Okay.
And every other spoon in the sink was dirty. I have another measuring set. These were cookie scoops. This one's supposed to be 1 tablespoon. Will you measure that salt?
And see.
And let's see if it matches the 1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon?
I'm sorry, 1 tablespoon. Let's see if it matches the 0.25 ounces.
Are you ready? Here goes.
Yes.
0.42.
Because the other one was a half tablespoon.
No,
Okay, this guy right here.
Oh, that's
the
right.
0.25. Use this one.
Oh, let's use that
instead.
one. Okay, let's try that. You're right. Thank you for the voice from
the voice in our head.
Yes.
The voice in our
Caught
background.
a measurement error. Thank you for catching that. All right. So this is one. Try to do it.
I know what happened. I'm going to reach across you. This guy, right? That was the biggest one I had, and I thought it was the tablespoon, but we look at it and it says half teaspoon.
Okay, this one should be
tablespoon.
This is a cool adjustable one, so let's see what that says. Okay, now it says 0.49. So yeah, so that would be much more accurate.
Okay.
So 1 tablespoon is 0.49 of an ounce.
All right. Very good. 0.49, so half of an ounce. Half an ounce of salt is 1 tablespoon.
Right.
Okay, so I don't think we need the other
So these
scoops.
are pretty close then. So let's try that again. So now that we have a number that's more or less official, let's compare it to this and see. I'm so glad somebody was
I
paying
really
attention.
don't think when you're making sweet potato soup at home, you have to be this exact.
Right.
But it's good to know the difference between a teaspoon measurement and a tablespoon measurement.
Yeah, and then so this now says 0.49. So yeah, so they agree. So
so this tablespoon matched that tablespoon in weight. Okay, very cool. We'll put them by each other.
All right.
And I'll gather up my other little
guys. Okay.
Measurements. Okay. So there are some other ways to measure.
Oh yeah. So those are all. Well, what's neat too is like look at the different shapes, but it all makes up the same volume.
Do you think that small one is a tablespoon?
Well, this one says it's 13 cc's, and what did it say on your cup, or on the half one? What did it say?
The half tablespoon.
Yeah,
is 7 milliliters.
And that, well, cc and a milliliter are the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
cc is cubic centimeter.
Yeah.
And then a milliliter.
Yeah. So
and that's a half a tablespoon. Okay.
No, this is a tablespoon. That's a half. So that works. It would work. 14 to 13. Right?
7 milliliters for the half.
And this is a whole, I think. Right? So 13 would be the whole.
Okay.
And that's volume. So now we know for salt, and we can figure out the density of salt.
Oh, we could do that on Thursday, maybe.
We could do
the density of our turkey
but what's
or
neat
Thanksgiving
is that the shape doesn't matter. It's just the vol. As long as it takes up the same volume, that's a tablespoon, right?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to show you a feature of this. Look how it's like rounded, but the bottom is flat. So you could use it for liquid.
Oh, very cool. That's a great design.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that one.
All right. What is this one? Not that we're going to get into it, but this is 43 cc.
43.
That's a lot more. Okay. Are we good with spoons?
We're good with spoons.
Okay. So when you're doing a recipe, you need to measure, and you need to have either a tablespoon or a teaspoon, and be careful what the recipe calls for. Usually the tablespoon is marked with a capital T, and then the teaspoon marked with a lowercase t. Okay? Tablespoon a lot of times has a B in it also. Teaspoon would not have a B.
Not necessarily have one. Very cool.
Okay, so going on to one more measurement.
Okay.
Have you ever made a recipe and you had to use butter?
Yes.
Okay, so
For the best ones. all the best recipes have butter in them for sure.
must use butter, not margarine. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, so on butter, it's kind of neat. When it calls for a tablespoon of butter, I'm not gonna grab
Right.
the tablespoon
Right.
measurement, okay? But I'll probably, the nice thing about butter, and let's see if the camera can pick this up, there are these markings here, and it tells you exactly how much is in a tablespoon. So a lot of times, instead of taking the wrapper off, if I needed 3 tablespoons of butter, I would go to where the 3rd tablespoon,
And you could just cut it there. Oh, very
TBSP,
cool.
so that's tablespoon, and then just cut that down.
Right. Very cool.
Okay?
Well, let's check out the density of butter then.
What?
You
know, butter's pretty cool too, because when you melt butter, if you don't stir it when you melt it, it separates.
Right.
The cream and the,
Right.
Is it
Is
fat?
it called clarified butter when you do that? I think that's.
I don't know.
I think that's what it's called.
That's a good question.
We'll have to write that down. Well, there's a questions to answer.
Okay.
Clarified butter.
You know, I know a lot of times when a recipe might call for a tablespoon of butter, I will eyeball it because I can know how thick
Yeah.
a
just
tablespoon
from
of butter
practice.
is. I get used to it. Okay,
Right.
so about that thick. Okay, now just remember to take the wrapper off
Right.
before you put the butter in your recipe.
It's adding fiber.
Okay, add fiber.
Well, I'm out of curiosity. Can I weigh that?
Oh, sure.
Okay,
All
so
yours.
this is 8 tablespoons, and it's got the wrapper on it, so that's going to be a little different. I'm going to put this back on for cleanliness. Okay, so it weighs, basically it says 3.99, so we'll say, so
Do you want a
8
napkin
tablespoons?
instead of the?
I'm writing on your paper, sorry about that.
That's okay.
So 8 tablespoons equals 4 ounces. So that means 1 would equal
a
half ounce,
Half an ounce.
which is almost exactly the same as butter. I mean,
The
it is exactly the same as butter, but also salt. And
butter
that's
is
amazing.
the butter.
And
Okay, the tablespoon of salt, Ken found out, weighs the same amount or close to the same
very
amount
close
as the
to.
tablespoon of butter.
Right.
So that measures the density,
Yeah,
okay? Because they're different materials.
Right.
Salt much different than butter, but 1 tablespoon of salt weighed
weighs the same. Yeah, that's
as 1
amazing.
tablespoon of butter. That's
Surprises
kind
me
of cool.
too.
Okay, so moving on from
Okay.
butter. Now we're going to talk about when we set up the table for Thanksgiving. Okay,
So if Uncle Fred suddenly shows up,
Uncle Fred suddenly shows up. Okay, let me minimize this picture
I'll move some stuff out of the way.
and go to our Jamboard here. Okay, so, and I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. Function, there we go. So we had this problem last year at Thanksgiving. We had some people coming over and we had to set up our dining room so that we had the tables in the right place so that we could seat enough people, okay? And what happened, let's say we only had square tables. How many people should there be, do you think?
Well,
Well-
for that one, you could maybe, I would guess that you could squeeze 2 on each side and 1 at the end if they're good friends.
Okay, so 6 people total
Yeah,
could sit
my
there?
guess. Yeah.
Okay, last year we had 9 that came
Okay.
over. So if I added another square table, would that seat enough?
No, because we cut off that end. So, well, let's
Oh.
see. Okay, if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I counted around the outside.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a little
Yeah.
slight. Okay,
so
so
we-
not enough
There's not
unless
enough, yeah.
unless we have one person at the kiddie table, but
Right.
that's no fun. Okay, what if I went like this? Instead, And if my space had enough room, I had 4 card tables.
Right.
Would that seat enough?
No, it would still, I think you're, well, if one person is each side of the table, let's say.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait a minute, I added another table. Why isn't it, why don't I have...
Well, no, you just moved the tables around, right?
Okay.
So, right, so that's the same. So it's the same. Okay, how about that?
Okay,
so we're looking at the perimeters, right?
Yes, the outside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll put 9 there. We'll leave this space open.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's kind of crowded.
That would work.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah,
so the neat thing about when you have maybe you have to seat more at the table, you have to add an extra table, you might have to try to figure out how the best way to put your table so that you can have enough people to seat there. Like seriously, last year it took us 2 hours
to make sure
to try to
everybody
do
was
this
sitting
because I did not have these nice square
right.
3 foot by 3 foot tables.
And they're all different sizes or heights and things.
Yes. So I'm going to use Rita's dining room table, right? And that shape was totally different. Okay.
And it's 3 by 6.
And yep, 3 by 6. And so if I brought one of my 2 by 4 tables, 2 foot by 4 foot tables, oops, it didn't quite work. And so really, we took like a couple hours, and then all of a sudden my daughter was like, let's do it this way. And it worked. It was perfect.
So what was the solution?
I don't remember. Okay, but the cool thing is you can do this on graph paper and write it out on graph paper. You can use the squares to count as like maybe 1 foot, 2 squares, 2 feet, things like that. And there are some online graph paper sites that you can go to, but the nice thing about the graph paper is then you have the tables, they're proportional to what a real life table would be. Okay?
Very good.
All right. Now, I'll have to get back to you on what we did decide. I have a good picture for it, but it didn't show up on the screen. So I'll have to get back to you on that. But you decide how many are coming, what space you have, and if you have some extra tables.
Right. Yeah.
And move things around. Okay. So at your house, you think about too the space you have. Maybe you can use graph paper and draw it to scale.
Right. Very cool.
Okay. Any other questions on it?
So a neat way to figure it out without having to move, to completely remodel your house.
Yeah, hopefully
for next year.
Remodel the house. Well, and the table, the dining room table, I don't know about your dining room table and such, but we can make it shorter. And so we could have put the 2, and instead of the leaves being in the middle, they were on either end. And so it was similar to a square. So we even tried that. We tried making the table be smaller and then put our 4 foot tables around it. It just, or the 6 foot table next to it, it just didn't work quite right.
Right.
So
something was going to fall through that crack. The turkey was going to make it up. Things like that. So, yeah.
Okay.
So geometry in real life.
Yeah.
Definitely so.
And always good to visualize it is to write it out on paper. Okay?
So.
Or you could even cut out pieces of paper and then move them around.
Right. Very much so.
Okay, so once you have the table figured out, who's going to sit where, then you have to come up with a table setting. And one cool thing was last year my daughter looked up how to fold napkins. And so we have a little folded turkey.
There's the.
So
show me, and you show me how.
Yeah, we're gonna fold a turkey.
I'm gonna move this over here then. Okay.
Napkin. We're gonna make a turkey napkin. Okay. Oops. That over there. Get the butter out of the way. Okay. Do you want to use a cloth napkin? Cloth napkins are nice because then you can wash them and they look really pretty. Okay. The only problem with the cloth napkin for this particular napkin fold it doesn't look as good. Like if you see mine on,
Maybe if you ironed it as you went along.
oh,
That would
yeah, you could iron it, totally.
What's an iron?
Who irons their clothes anymore?
Especially
Or you can use
napkins.
starch. Remember how they
Yeah,
do starch?
you can do starch.
Okay,
But you could
So-
iron it. You're going to do it
so-
on paper?
yeah, I
Okay.
think, do you want to do paper and
Yeah.
then I'll do cloth? Or I do paper, you
Well,
do cloth?
I'll do,
You'll do the cloth?
yeah.
Okay.
I'll try the cloth.
So a paper napkin works too. There's a great video on how to do this online. Okay, where's our directions? Turkey,
Right here, do
napkin, folding, instructions.
And this is from
Okay.
Chinette, if you're going to search, if you want to look for this one. So it'll probably be on the Chinette website,
Okay,
right?
this is another fun thing to do when you're setting a table.
So this
Okay.
is Thanksgiving origami.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna take each end and fold it in.
Can I see okay?
Yeah, I wonder
A little bit farther up. There you go.
okay, so take each end, fold it up,
This way.
and this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get out of the way. I'll take the pumpkin pie.
I
with
feel like
me.
we're doing a paper airplane.
It is just the same.
Okay, now the thing about folding napkins is you want to have a good crease. This is the same with origami too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you folded the top corners down, and then we're going to do the fold again.
Just like an airplane.
Very similar, yep. Okay, so you see it.
So now we have kind of a,
All right, I wonder how the white napkin is showing up.
we have a triangle because it looks good.
Yeah,
That's that background.
okay.
There's mine. Just
Oh yeah, looking good. Okay, so then fold again.
more, okay.
Yeah, they want 3 folds, and it gets a little
There's
tricky
salt
with
all
the
over our
cloth
table.
one. Science teachers get stuff everywhere.
I know. Look at this.
Okay. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Okay, so
So we have long folds.
long folds, and then let's
Oops.
see. We're going to turn it over, okay? And then fold it back like so, and then you have the turkey head.
Very cool.
Okay, there we go. Turkey head. All right, so it may not stay up, but that's okay. We're gonna come, oh yeah, nice. Okay, it works.
Okay, so that's
So-
the basic part 1.
Part 1. And then part 2, you take a second napkin, which is good. Some people like 2 napkins when they're eating a feast.
I'll try green.
Okay, second napkin, and then it says to fold it in half. So instead of open it all the way, fold it in half,
Okay.
and then accordion. Fold it. So you're gonna fold one way, turn it over, fold it the other way. And always good to have a nice crease. Okay. All right. We might run out of time on our napkins. And what are we gonna do with that pumpkin pie over there? Oh, my
I'll take
goodness.
it. I'll bring it on Thursday.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So you don't want to accordion it all the way. You want to leave some
halfway?
space.
Okay,
Yep.
a little bit.
Put
okay.
the accordion on the bottom.
Okay. Like that.
Oh yeah, you're doing
Flip it
good.
over. All right.
And then fold it in half.
Oh,
We're
that's
getting
right.
there. All
Okay.
right. All right. And oh, now what? Let me look at the instructions. Fold
fold it
this
underneath.
part down. So bring the corner to
There.
here, and then tuck it in right there so it stays.
Oh, cool. And that makes a
Okay,
tail.
yeah, this is the tail. Okay, here we go. Oh, how pretty. Did it work? My
cool.
turkey would like to say hello to your turkey.
So cool ideas.
Very cool idea. And so lots of different ways to fold napkins. If you're having your Thanksgiving feast, maybe you want to have fun
Right.
and fold it like a turkey. And I would say it takes practice.
Yeah, definitely
Oops,
so.
my turkey fell apart. So, you know, sir,
He's sleepy.
hello.
Now he's got an attitude. His nose is up in the air. Mine's just cool.
They may look at it and be like, hey, that's a swan. Or
It does.
okay, but it takes practice.
Right.
It may not
Well, the
get
cool
it on
thing
the
with
first.
the napkins is then you could use magic markers and decorate them up and stuff too. Right?
Right.
If you use Sharpies, then they won't bleed on you while if you
Or
use
you could
them.
write their name.
Yeah, right. You could play settings.
A place setting. You know, put the name card. Name card,
Yeah,
not
name
a
cards,
place
right.
setting.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Name card.
Okay, there are other ways to fold napkins besides the turkey, and I don't think we'll have enough time to show it, but if you have a napkin ring, that can hold your napkins together. Maybe you don't know what the napkin ring is for. Well, let's see. You can even come up with your own napkin folds, but there are a bunch of different that you can do and practice and see which ones you like. Maybe you want something like this. And if you have like 6 different spoons on your table, at least you know.
Yeah, which one, right.
Which
you don't want to accidentally use the 5 o'clock teaspoons. So we'll be back on Thursday with more cool Thanksgiving math. So definitely join us, do some homework, come up with some cool ideas, and let us know. So definitely. So I'm Ken Pinkerton.
And I'm Rita McConaughey. Thanks for watching.
We'll be back Thursday.